Hey traders, welcome back to another daily profit and loss recap video. Today is Tuesday, October 17th. I just finished up trading for the morning and I locked in $248 in profits. I had two trades only today. One of them was a winner and one of them was a loser. So in this video, we're going to talk about these trades and talk about how I was able to end up profitable overall for the day, even with only 50% accuracy in my trading. All of the trades that I place every day are posted about in the Market Master group in real time, so if you're interested in hearing about these trades, make sure to come join us using the link down below in the description. That being said, the first trade for me today was with the stock ASMB. If we take a quick look into the Market Master group, we had quite a few stocks that were gapping up this morning in the pre-market session, and the two top percent gainers were SPRC, which was at 9:06 this morning, up 172%. And then we had ASMB, which was up 102%. Now, naturally, because of that, those were two of my top watches heading into the market open. However, I will say that I gave a warning to the Market Master group to try to be very cautious with SPRC specifically. And the reason for that is because if we take a look at the daily chart, over the past year, there had been 8 gap ups, and every single time there was one of those gap ups, the price came straight back down. And you can see here's a really solid example of that. We get this big gap up, and then it turns into this big red candlestick on the daily chart. And that same thing tends to happen over and over and over again with this stock. So when it comes to buying it into a gap up, it's automatically going to be higher risk and there's going to be less likelihood of the stock following through. So that was kind of my main reasoning for putting a little bit more emphasis on ASMB this morning for a gap and go. From there, what we were looking for was an opening range breakout, and the opening range breakout level in this case is going to be the high of the first few minutes of price action, which happens to be exactly at $1.50. So if we draw that on the chart, this is going to be our opening range breakout level, and we can see not long after the open, it pushes above that breakout level. I take a starter position into this breakout, and then I add some more shares into this trade once it starts to push above the VWAP. In hindsight, obviously I should have been locking in quick profits, but keep in mind that this was just trading at $2.34 earlier this morning in the pre-market session. On top of that, the 52-week high for this stock was $1.78. So in my head, there was a good chance that we were going to see this push up and at least make a new 52-week high above 178, if not get back up and retest those pre-market highs. So I was adding into this for a bigger move, but it ended up rejecting it, started to fade back down, and once it pulled all the way back down here towards these morning lows, that's when I took the loss on this trade. So on that trade alone, I ended up with a loss of $681. Kind of a rough start to the morning, but nonetheless, it was a setup that I trade over and over again. And even though like any setup, it's not going to work 100% of the time, overall, this setup has been very profitable for me, and it's not one that I'm going to take out of my trading arsenal just yet. All right, now to move on to the second trade for today, this was in the Market Master Group's trade plans. These are posted every single night to help our traders take on the market the following day. And one of the stocks that was in the trade plans was OPGN. And the trade plans for this stock were that it's hard to ignore this low float stock that was recently trading at $4 or higher, and it's starting to curl back up. This has a nice potential for a recovery if it can start closing some candles and forming a base above $1. That's what I'll be looking for to pick up some shares for this trade. So at the time that this was posted last night in the after hours trading session, it was trading at about 89 cents per share. And if we take a quick look now at the chart, we can see that today it opened up right above 90 cents per share. Pretty much right away at the market open then, it starts to push above $1 per share, which again was the key level that I was looking for in order to see if this stock was going to fade back down or if it was going to have a nice recovery back up. So right when it was starting to break above $1 per share, that's when I took a starter position in this trade. Then just a few minutes later, we can see here on the 1-minute chart, we get this little bit of a double bottom that forms right at about $1.01. And from there, we get this nice spike back up to the highs with a nice spike in volume as well. That is where I started to feel confident in this trade. That's where I added some more shares into this trade. And I didn't get an entire position filled on it. I ended up with a total of 5,330 shares. But I had a really solid average price on this trade of $1.07. And we can see it ended up running up to a high of $1.34. And since the goal of the Market Master Group is to give our team of traders everything they need to take on the market every single day, this wasn't just alerted and posted about as a potential buy. I also mentioned where you should be locking in profits on this trade, and that happened to be right around $1.30. I posted for OPGN. It's starting to clear resistance from the past few days, and the next resistance from the volume profile is right around $1.30. Will be a good idea to lock in a portion of profits in that area if it gets there. At that time, it was trading at just $1.11, and sure enough, we can see it spikes right up to $1.34, right into that resistance area that I was talking about, and it starts to reject back down. So thankfully, I knew about this resistance beforehand, and that's what led me to lock in most of my profits up here in the mid 120s. And then once we get this double top here that starts to sell off back to the downside, I locked in the rest of my profits on that trade and ended up with a total profit on that trade of $929, which brought my red morning up to an overall green day, locking in $248 overall. So a few key components here to ending up profitable for this day with only 50% accuracy. And this is not a new concept. This is something that I've talked about quite a few times here on this channel, is to not only cut your losses quickly, but also to look to add into your winning positions. In this case with OPGN, my starter position on this trade, when it was initially starting to move above $1 per share, was just 2,000 shares. And if I wouldn't have added the rest of these shares into this trade, I would have still taken a loss overall for the day because I would have just had a much smaller investment in this stock and it wouldn't have made back enough from that initial loss in the other stock, ASMB. So you have to really try to make the most out of every single one of your winning trades, and that includes being patient with them, letting them run and work in your favor, and on top of that, adding into them and increasing your share size once the trade is again moving in your favor. Alright, but anyway, those were my main focuses and my trades for the day. Hopefully you found some value in this video, and if you did, please make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you want to hear about these stocks that I'm trading in real time and you want to work with our team of traders, get access to our day trade and swing trade alerts, our detailed trade plans, our live custom scanner streams, and so on and so forth, all of that can be found in the Market Master group. There's going to be a link down below in the description for you to get signed up. But anyway, thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and good luck with your trading.